The coastal town of Ridgemont existed in comfortable obscurity. Morning fog rolled off the Pacific, settling into streets where nothing remarkable ever happened, where legends came to hide. She lived in a small duplex on Elm Street. The mailbox read Alex Carter, no rank, no distinction, no hint of the warrior who once owned the sky. To neighbors, she was the quiet woman who worked at Jensen's auto repair. Polite but distant, present but invisible, Alexandra Reaper Carter had perfected the art of disappearing in plain sight. Her mornings followed military precision stripped of purpose. Coffee at 0530, coastal. Walk at 0600, work by 700. The routine was armor against memories that tried to surface. Memories of cockpits, of missions, of the day everything fell apart. 6 years ago, she'd been the most feared pilot in the Air Force. Her call, sign Reaper, was whispered, with reverence and ready. Rooms across 3 continents. She'd flown missions so classified their existence was denied even to Congress. Operations that prevented wars most people would never know had threatened to begin. Then came the mission that broke her. She'd been ordered to strike a target based on intelligence she knew was flawed. She'd reported her concerns, was told to follow orders. She'd refused to fire on what she believed were civilians. Court-martial charges were threatened. She was given a choice: resign quietly or face public prosecution that would destroy her. She chose silence over spectacle, walked away from the only life she'd known, buried the uniform and everything it represented. At Jensen's auto repair, her co-worker Mike never stopped talking about engines, about his kids, about dreams bigger than their small-town existence. "You ever think about doing more?" Mike asked one Tuesday, elbow deep in a transmission. "You're crazy good at this. Could work anywhere." "I'm fine here," Alex replied, not looking up. "But don't you want people to know how skilled you are?" She paused, wiping grease from her hands. "Being known isn't always a gift, Mike. Sometimes the best place to be is where no one's looking." He laughed, thinking she was being modest. He didn't understand she was speaking from hard-earned wisdom about visibility and its costs. September 22nd started like every other day in Ridgemont. Clear skies, temperature climbing toward 78 degrees, the comfortable rhythm of a town where nothing happened. Alex was replacing brake pads on a Honda when the sound reached her. It cut through ambient noise like a blade through silk jet. Engines had full military power, flying far too low, the distinct scream of an F-22 Raptor in severe distress. She rolled out from under the vehicle, standing slowly as her trained ear decoded what civilians couldn't. Catastrophic system failure, pilot fighting for control, minutes from disaster. 3 customers stood in the parking lot, pointing skyward as the silver aircraft traced erratic patterns against blue sky, trailing smoke that spelled emergency in every language. Mike emerged from the bay, shielding his eyes. "What the hell is that pilot doing?" "Trying not to die," Alex said quietly. Tracking the aircraft's descent with professional assessment. She'd thought she'd buried. The flight pattern indicated total hydraulic failure, partial engine power, ejection system likely compromised, or the pilot would have punched out already. Her phone buzzed. "Emergency alert, military aircraft emergency. All civilians advised to shelter indoors. Stay clear of Eastern District." The F-22 was losing altitude fast, heading toward the residential area where children played in yards and families lived ordinary lives, unaware that several tons of aircraft and explosive fuel were about to choose their landing site. Alex made a decision before conscious thought caught up. She was in her truck and driving toward Ridgemont Air Station before Mike could ask questions. The base perimeter was chaos, military police blocking access, armed guards turning away civilian vehicles, security posture that screamed crisis-level emergency. Alex parked and walked toward the checkpoint, each step feeling like moving through water-resistance building against the current of a life she'd left behind. "Ma'am, this area is restricted," a young airman said, stepping forward with rifle at low ready. "You need to clear the area immediately." "I need to speak with whoever's commanding emergency response," Alex said, her voice carrying authority she'd sworn never to use again. "That's not possible. Please return to. Tell them Reaper is here, she interrupted, the words tasting like ash and necessity. Tell them Major Alexandra. Carter is requesting emergency access under Combat Protocol Delta 9. The airman's face went pale. Even young recruits knew the stories, the legends that survived in whispered conversations. Ma'am, I'll need to verify. There's a pilot in the sky with maybe 8 minutes before forced landing in populated area, Alex said, her tone sharpening to command grade. Verify fast or explain to that pilot's family why you chose bureaucracy over survival. The airman keyed his radio with shaking hands. Colonel Marcus Webb stood in the Crisis Command Center, surrounded by screens displaying a nightmare scenario. Captain Julie Martinez trapped in a dying F-22. Ejection system failure. Flight controls degrading by the second. Emergency landing in civilian territory looking increasingly inevitable. Sir, we have a situation at Checkpoint 3. His communications officer reported. Civilian requesting access. Says she's Major Alexandra Carter. Call sign Reaper. Webb's head snapped up. Reaper, that's impossible. She resigned 6 years ago. She's invoking Delta 9 emergency protocol, sir. And the officer paused. She says the pilot has 8 minutes. Webb's jaw tightened. He'd been a captain when Alex had flown. He'd heard the stories. More importantly, he'd read the classified files on why she'd left read them and understood that the Air Force had lost one of its best because bureaucracy valued appearances over integrity. Send her through, he said. Direct to command center. And somebody find me a headset. Alex walked through corridors that triggered memories like landmines. Same industrial lighting, same polished floors, same photographs of aircraft and heroes, though some faces had changed. Some had been removed, and 6 years of history had been added to walls she'd once walked daily. Webb met her at the command center entrance. Major Carter, it's just Alex now, Colonel, she replied. I left the rank behind. Not today you didn't. He gestured to the screens showing Martinez's aircraft losing altitude. That pilot has maybe 6 minutes. Our best crisis pilots are deployed overseas. We've got skilled people, but nobody with your experience in impossible recoveries. Alex looked at the telemetry data, her mind automatically processing information she'd trained decades to interpret. What's her status? Hydraulics failing. Right engine at 40%. Left engine cycling. Ejection system non-responsive. Radio communication intermittent. She's 23 years old, Alex. This is her first year operational. Something cold and familiar settled in Alex's chest. The weight of responsibility she'd carried for so many years. The knowledge that her skills could mean the difference between someone's daughter coming home or not. I need direct communication channel and real-time telemetry, she said. Webb didn't hesitate. Lieutenant, give her your station. Full access. Priority override. Alex pulled on a headset, her fingers moving across controls with muscle memory that 6 years couldn't erase. Captain Martinez, this is Reaper, she transmitted, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions. Do you copy? Static. Then a young voice, tight with controlled fear. Barely. Controls failing. Don't know. Much longer. Martinez, listen carefully. I need current altitude, airspeed, and control responsiveness on scale 1 to 10. 9,000. Dropping fast. 180 knots. Controls maybe U3. Alex's mind built a three-dimensional model of the crisis. 9,000 feet meant roughly 5 minutes before terrain forced the issue. 180 knots barely maintained lift. 3 out of 10 responsiveness meant she was fighting the aircraft for every second of controlled flight. Colonel, I need chase aircraft with visual on damage assessment, Alex said. Already there. Call sign Hawk 2. Hawk 2, Reaper. What's your visual? Reaper, Hawk 2. Right wing showing significant structural damage. Fuel leak but no fire. Control surfaces barely responding. This bird shouldn't be flying. But it is flying, Alex replied. Which means we can work with it. Martinez, I'm going to walk you through something that's not in any manual. It's going to feel wrong. Your training is going to scream at you to do something different. But you need to trust me. Acknowledge. A pause, then. I trust you, Reaper. For the next 4 minutes, Alex became the external brain for a pilot fighting impossible odds. She talked Martinez through asymmetric thrust management, using the aircraft's damage as an asset rather than purely a liability. She guided her through controlled descent that transformed potential catastrophe into managed emergency. The command center fell silent except for Alex's voice. Every person present understood they were witnessing mastery, the kind that separated legends from merely competent operators. Altitude 3000. You're doing perfect, Martinez. Use the damage, don't fight it. Let the aircraft tell you what it wants. Through the windows, they could see the damaged F-22, approaching the emergency landing zone cleared farmland northeast of base. Altitude 500, airspeed 140. You've got this, Martinez. Main gear on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. The aircraft hit hard, bounced, settled. The damaged wing dipped, dragging, spinning the F-22 in a violent rotation that threw debris across the field. Then stillness. Hawk 2, confirm pilot extraction, Alex transmitted, her voice still steady despite hands that had started shaking. Reaper, Hawk 2, emergency crews on scene. Martinez is out. She's walking. Repeat, pilot is ambulatory and conscious. Alex closed her eyes, letting out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. Behind her, the command center erupted in controlled celebration. Webb was on the phone. Yes, sir. Major Carter. Yes, sir. That Reaper. The medical facility smelled of antiseptic and adrenaline aftermath. Captain Julie Martinez sat on an examination table, flight suit torn and dirty, but alive. She looked up when Alex entered. Major Carter, they told me. You saved my life. Alex pulled up a chair, sitting at eye level. You saved your own life, Captain. You kept that aircraft flying when it had no business staying airborne. I just provided navigation. I heard stories about you in flight school, Martinez said quietly. About the missions, about why you left. I thought. She paused. I thought you were a ghost story. I was just someone who reached a point where the cost of staying exceeded the cost of leaving. Alex replied. But today someone needed help, and I could provide it. That's all that mattered. Martinez nodded slowly, processing. Are you coming back to the Air Force? I don't know, Alex admitted honestly. 6 years ago, I left because I couldn't be who they wanted me to be and still be who I needed to be. Whether that's changed. She trailed off. Colonel Webb appeared at the doorway. Major Carter, can I have a moment? They walked to a quiet corridor. Webb carried himself with the careful bearing of someone navigating unprecedented territory. That was remarkable. He said simply, what you did today, Martinez is alive because of you. She's alive because she's skilled and refused to quit, Alex corrected. True. But skill without guidance in that situation would have meant a crash site instead of a recovery. Webb paused. The Air Force has changed since you left. Not perfectly, not completely, but the officers who forced you out are gone. New leadership understands what was lost when you walked away. What are you saying, Colonel? I'm saying we need people like you, not just for crisis response, but for training the next generation, teaching them that integrity and excellence aren't contradictory, that questioning orders when something's wrong isn't insubordination, it's leadership. He produced a business card. No pressure, but if you're interested in exploring what a return might look like on your terms, not ours, call me. Alex took the card, feeling its weight in her palm. I need to think about it. Of course, take all the time you need. He saluted crisp, respectful, acknowledging rank she no longer officially held. Thank you, Major, for today and for every day you served before today. Ridgemont looked different when Alex drove back through it that evening. Same buildings, same streets, same ocean fog rolling in, but something had shifted in how she perceived it all. Or perhaps something had shifted in how she perceived herself. Her phone rang. Mike from the shop. Alex, holy crap, are you okay? The news is saying you're some kind of Air Force legend who saved a pilot's life. She smiled despite herself. I helped. The pilot saved herself. Dude, they're calling you the Ghost Reaper. Said you flew missions that don't officially exist. Is that true? Some of it. Mike, I need a few days to figure some things out. Can you cover my shifts? Of course. Take all the time you need. And Alex, that's incredibly cool. I mean, I knew you were good with mechanical stuff, but this is like superhero level. After hanging up, Alex sat in her truck outside her duplex, staring at Colonel Webb's business card. She could return to obscurity, back to the auto shop, back to the comfortable numbness of a life lived below her capabilities. Or she could step back into the sky, not as the person she'd been young, driven by ambition and need for validation, but as the person she'd become. Someone who understood that excellence required ethics, that skill demanded wisdom, that being extraordinary meant choosing carefully when and how to deploy that capability. Her neighbor, Mrs. Chun, waved from her porch. "Saw you on the news, dear. You're famous. Just did what needed doing," Alex called back. "That's what heroes always say." Mrs. Chun replied with a knowing smile. Inside her small duplex, Alex made coffee and sat at her window, watching the sky transition from blue to gold to purple to black. The same sky she'd once commanded, the same sky she'd fled from, the same sky that had called her back today. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "This is Martinez. Thank you for my life. Whatever you decide about coming back, know that what you did today mattered. You mattered." Alex stared at the message for a long time. 6 years ago, she'd left because staying meant compromising who she was. But maybe, just maybe, the organization had changed enough to make space for someone who refused to choose between excellence and integrity. Or maybe she had changed enough to know how to maintain both regardless of institutional pressure. She picked up Webb's card and her phone. Tomorrow she'd make the call. Tonight, she'd simply sit with the knowledge that legends never really die. They just wait for the moment when they're needed most. And when that moment comes, they answer, not with fanfare or ceremony, but with the quiet certainty of someone who knows exactly who they are and what they're worth. The Ghost Reaper had returned, not for glory, not for redemption, but because a pilot needed help, and she had the skills to provide it. And sometimes, that's all that matters. If this story of silent courage and the long road back from exile moved you, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Would you have walked away like Alex did? Would you have returned? Share your thoughts. We love hearing from the Silent Warriors community. For more stories about warriors who operate in the shadows and answer the call when it matters most, subscribe to Silent Warriors. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story about the legends who refuse to stay buried. Until next time, remember, true warriors fight their hardest battles in silence. Stay strong, Silent Warriors.